Hey guys, I wasn't going to make a video about this, but I figure I'd make it now since, well, I got nothing better to do, and it's something I've been wanting to talk about for a little bit. I may make another rant video updating on my feelings towards this particular topic, and if another game turns out like Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 did, then that I've played, then you know for a fact I'm going to talk about it. But this is something that has been worrying me greatly about the gaming industry, and I figure I might as well update you all on what's happened with 1.5 and 2.5. So, if you haven't heard the story, 1.5 and 2.5 came out for the PS4 in Japan on the 9th of March, and it was really buggy. The 60 frames per second just fucked up the game really badly because animations were faster than they should have been, and they didn't really tweak the game to help it run properly at 60 frames, and all of the bugs were actually in the PS3 versions were not fixed. And not to mention, there was also other bugs. They made the game more unstable. Apparently, now that the game has actually received a patch, there are reports that some issues were fixed. And like Quick Dash, I believe, was sent to farther now. There were a couple other things changed to accommodate the 60 frames per second. Like Data Vexen is actually playable now. Data Syax is playable again. Thank fucking God. Apparently though, Xemnas's reaction command has not been fixed yet, and some of the English patches I'm going to assume, unless I'm wrong, are not fixed. Like the Xemnas 1 crash probably still exists. That wasn't a 2.5 Japanese thing, that was only in the English version of 2.5. Why, I have no idea, but that's just how it was. So, yeah, apparently they're patching their games now. It's good that they are. I'm happy about that. It shouldn't have been like this to begin with, and that's what I want to talk about. See, 2.5 and 1.5 and 2.5 were not the only cases of this, not just for Kingdom Hearts, but cases in general. Believe it or not, Kingdom Hearts 2.8 actually had issues as well when it first came out. I know you probably don't remember these issues because most of them were already patched by the time the English release came out, which is why I was holding out for a glitch. I was holding out for a patch that would patch certain bugs before the English release, and thankfully I was right about that. I'm happy I was right about that. But 2.8 had issues. Like, for example, if you went to a certain section in the second world in 0.2, the game would just straight up crash sometimes. Apparently the game would crash when you get to menus. 0.2 was very unstable. It was stabilized later, before the English release, as far as I know. And there are also some issues with Dream Drop Distance that also needed to be patched, but thankfully are patched now. So this is a common thing with Square Enix nowadays with Kingdom Hearts games. With their last couple of games, they have managed to have issues and bugs that didn't exist in the original versions of certain games. Not to mention 0.2 also had a few issues, which begs the question, what the fuck's going to happen when Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to come out? I'm really worried about Kingdom Hearts 3 because, oh my god, if that turns out to be a buggy, broken mess when it first comes out, it's going to be really bad. Just little things that slip by them, and you want to know what they do? They say, we'll patch them later. That's it. They just do that, release the games, and they're buggy, and people bitch about it, and then they patch it, and that's pretty much how it's been for a while. Not just with Kingdom Hearts, though. It's not just with Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts, if anything, has it better than a lot of other franchises do. Remember Capcom with Street Fighter V? Remember Activision? Activision has that problem too. And oh my god, remember Ubisoft? Holy fucking hell, Ubisoft is terrible with this shit. Remember Assassin's Creed Unity? I heard Watch Dogs 2 also had problems. There were just so many issues with most of their games nowadays. There are a few sometimes that they polish up, like whenever they make a Rayman game, like an actual Rayman game, not Rayman Rabbids. I'm talking about an actual legitimate Rayman game. Usually it turns out good. I've played Rayman Origins with a friend of mine, and it worked fine. I heard Legends was really good too. It's just, but most of the time Ubisoft just doesn't care. EA sometimes has this problem too, though to be fair, probably better than Activision and Ubisoft, even though EA they still deserve to win the Golden Turd Award again and again, because they've won the recognition of, I think they have the recognition of winning the Golden Poo Award at least two times in a row. So yeah, this is something that a lot of games have. Sometimes they don't even get patched. Like Sonic Boom, I think got one patch, but it's still a buggy piece of shit because they figured, okay, fuck it. The damage is done. They've just forgot about it. Unity, from what I hear, wasn't patched too much either. And Tony talked Pro Skater 5. Oh, you actually paid for the demo. Fun fact: the demo is the only thing on the disc. They actually patched everything else. The entire game is just a patch. I'm not even joking. It's the day one patch. That's fucking terrible. This is just the state that we live in now, where games just aren't finished and they're patched later on. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm really starting to get sick of it. Is anyone else getting tired of it? It's starting to get a little ridiculous. Just almost every hyped up release, with one or two exceptions, are just fucking full of bugs and glitches that they don't bother to iron out yet. Kingdom Hearts hasn't really been the worst with it, but the fact that shit is even acceptable, the fact that they don't play test this beforehand and just say, we'll patch it later, just shows that certain companies just don't fucking care. And it's absolutely appalling. You're paying for a faulty product. And the worst part is, sometimes you don't even know about it. We were lucky that Kingdom Hearts was released in Japan early for people to bitch about this. But with other franchises that release here in America or release internationally, we won't know until we buy it. That's the worst part about it. It's just, it worries me. It really worries me. Not just with Kingdom Hearts 3, but with other games I look forward to. I'm worried if I'm paying for a faulty product. Now, there are a few exceptions. Not going to name them here, but there are a few exceptions. But for the most part, it does worry me about some games that I pay for. That's why I stopped pre-ordering games. Actually, it's why I stopped, because hey, if they're not going to give a shit, then I don't want to wait. I was just going to wait until I hear the reviews and hear what people say about it and hear if there are any major issues. That's why I debated on canceling my 1.5 and 2.5 pre-order, which I haven't. I haven't canceled it. In fact, I'm going to buy it now that I know they're going to patch this stuff. But regardless, it is really, really starting to worry me with the gaming industry and how companies are being really fucking lazy nowadays.